the Jet Setting Wealth Advisory Podcast, where your financial journey takes flight with David T.U. As an airline pilot and financial expert, David merges the aviation industry and wealth management to help you navigate today's complex financial skies. Each episode features expert insight, blending personal stories with essential financial strategies. We ask that you fasten your seatbelts and sit back as we prepare for takeoff. Our destination, your financial empowerment.
Hello, welcome to the Jet Setting Wealth Advisory Podcast. I'm your host, David T.U., and today we not only have one, but two phenomenal guests joining us. First, we have Tamika Moses, the award-winning founder and CEO of Robin Bird Realty, with nearly 20 years of experience across real estate sectors such as mortgage, distressed properties, and traditional real estate. Tamika is not only a licensed realtor broker and the Florida real estate instructor, but she also holds the prestigious NAR designation and serves as the president-elect of Miami Association of Realtors for the Commercial Board for 2024. Joining her is Denise Chambers Palmer, a top-performing South Florida real estate professional who specializes in residential and commercial real estate. With over 15 years of experience, Denise has been recognized for her excellence in client services and is also the founder to the Keys to Legacy Realty Brokerage. She also serves as the commercial governor for the Miami Association of Realtors, working tirelessly to help clients achieve their real estate goals. Today, we're going to dive into their wealth experience, the unique challenges and opportunities they've encountered in the real estate world, and how they have empowered their clients to build wealth through property investments. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for having us.
We're so glad to have you. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So happy to have you both on the show. Both of you and I had met at a 1031 commercial real estate luncheon in Fort Lauderdale. And so we are just absolutely delighted to have the both of you on the show today. So let's get started. Tamika and Denise, you both have built impressive careers in real estate. What initially inspired each of you to pursue this industry, and how have your background influenced your approach to real estate? And I'm going to start with Tamika first, and then we'll just kind of flip it on the next question.
Well, I kind of fell into this industry. I was initially going to school to become a sportscaster. So I'm a huge sports fan. So my dream job was to be an anchor on ESPN. So people are very surprised. I'm like, yeah, I'm a big, huge sports fanatic. So I attended Florida A&M University for my first couple of years and finished at Florida Atlantic University. So each summer I would come home and I would look at the new home. I would go out with my mom and go look at all of the new home construction sites and everything. And it was so excited to see how South Florida was building up, because I'm born and raised here in the South Florida, in the South Florida area. So I just kind of fell into, one day when I graduated college and everything, I'm like, what is there to do? Because I'm like, it's a very long track to get into journalism. So my mom brought me to attention saying, why don't you become a loan officer? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm trying to shake your mouth. So I went and applied and I became a loan officer at this small brokerage in North Miami. And it was such a learning experience. I'm like, okay, I know I was meant to do this. So my broker at the time introduced me to the office. I was so excited. He said, this is your computer. This is the list of lenders. Okay, have a great day. Good luck. And I'm like, what? I really had to dig deep, because I'm like, okay, as I started to learn the mortgage industry, it was really great because I learned what type of questions to ask. So I would ask the account managers, about different loan programs. I started learning about all of that different stuff. So it was a really huge learning curve. So also with my journalism background, I went and made my own brochures. I designed my own brochures. So when me and my mom would be at the grocery store, she would help me pass her brochures to different people in the parking lot and shopping in the grocery store. And that's how I built my pipeline, actually. I built my
Aha.
pipeline, and I'm like, it made me go harder. And I just started learning so much about the mortgage industry and the real estate industry in the whole. That's how I fell into the real estate industry. And of course, you see the money that they're making. So you're like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. But yeah,
Absolutely.
and ever since then, I have been in love. And that was back in 2003. That was back in
Okay.
2003. And I was in right before the market crashed. And when the market crashed, I still couldn't see myself doing anything else. I mean, a lot of people I know, they went and left, became a nurse, they became this. And I'm like, I don't see anything else. So I went and learned how to do loan modifications.
Sticking it through it, thick and
Yes, I
thin.
stuck through it. I
All
learned
right.
loan modifications. I went to work for Bank of America. I went to work for
Okay.
Bank of America. I learned how to do loan modifications. And then when that contract position was over with, I started doing from other people. So I
Got
would
it.
help them modify their mortgage to help them keep their property.
Got it.
And then when I eventually got my real estate license in 2011, my first deal was $1 million short sale. Then I learned how to do short sales. So it was like
Fantastic.
it was like I was getting every crap property, but it was the most desired properties that every
Okay.
investor in town wanted. And that's how I learned really about distressed real estate. So I was getting
Okay.
the hardest short sales, the hardest this, but I had buyers galore. So that's how I built up my pipeline of who were real authentic buyers.
Got
So
it.
it was a learning curve for me to get into this industry. It was a learning curve as I built myself up into this industry. So fast forward to today, I still was able to obtain my master's degree from FIU. So I look at real estate at a whole nother level, dealing with REITs and everything, private equity funds. And now I'm just like so excited. So when people say, oh my God, the market is bad, I'm like, no, the market is not bad. If you survived through 2008,
8.
you can go through anything. And I'm like, you can survive real estate here in South Florida, you can survive anywhere.
Fantastic. Denise, how did you start your real estate passion?
My real estate journey did not begin as a passion. To be
Okay.
honest, I am a teacher at heart. I migrated to the United States about 10 years ago. I came
Okay.
in teacher, and my brother was actually looking for a home. My younger brother was looking for a home, and he has been doing that for like 3 years, and he just couldn't find anything. And being the big sister, I'm like, I'm going to get my real estate license. I had no clue about real estate at the time. I'm going to find that house for you. So I went to school, took the exam in about 2 weeks, and got the license. And sure enough, I sold him his first home, and he was looking for 3 years. So that's how I got into it, because I was motivated. I saw how my brother was just distressed, and he was going to properties after property, even in the night, looking, driving the street, looking, and couldn't find anything. And that's how I got into it. Now, once I'm in real estate, I realized that I love it so much, just to see the joy on his face. And he was the first one to acquire a home here, the first generation, bridge the gap. I said, no, I can't stop. I couldn't stop. It was like a bug. The more you get it, the more you want to help others.
And that's how you took off.
That's how I took off
Fantastic.
for residential,
Got
but
it.
I do commercial real estate as well. And again, that was by accident or by God's design. So I was marketing a home, I was door knocking, and I got a residential property for sale, young, excited, and all of those things, using my skills. And the seller said to me, oh, you sold my house so quickly. I have an assisted, she said, I have an ALF for sale. Can you help
Okay.
me? Because I've been trying with another agent for 2 years and it didn't sell. And I was like, what is an ALF?
So tell our viewers and our listeners, what is that?
So ALF are assisted living facilities for seniors homes. And so I said to her, I'm great at marketing. I can sell a house. I know how to deal with clients. I know what clients are looking for, and I can meet their needs. So if you tell me what an assisted living facility is, I can tell if I can do it. And so she said, okay, I'm going to bet on you because you were so good to me and you put my needs above your needs. So I'm going to give you a chance. And she did. She gave me a chance, and I market as best as possible. She gave me the inside of what an ALF is, and I sold that bad boy. I sold that in record time, and I just loved it.
So both of you work with a wide range of clients, is what it sounds like. Yes. From first-time home buyers that you have just mentioned with your brother to commercial real estate investors. How do you tailor your strategies to meet the unique needs of the various different clients and their backgrounds. Let's start with Denise first on this time.
Okay, so how I tailored it is I compartmentalize it, because when you're dealing with the living facility, it's a total different niche, total different market, and I have the option to do both. So that's what makes me multifaceted, because I can do both residential and I can do commercial. Once you're dealing with commercial clients, they all want somewhere to live, right? They all
Yes.
have residential properties. So that is what makes me unique, is because I'm able to cross-pollinate both areas, and I know exactly how to stick to my particular niche and the clients that I'm dealing with.
Okay. And Tamika, how about you?
So with me, I did a lot in the multifamily sector and also do commercial leasing. So within the multifamily sector, it has been a lot of my past clients who I've sold homes to that wanted to start and get into their first investment. So they're usually taking out an equity line of credit or something. And I'm always that person to help them start off first. I always say, you don't have to go for the 10 to 20 unit. Let's start out with a 2 to 4 unit where we're still able to use the Fannie Mae or the Freddie and the Fannie Mae or the FHA. So that's what I utilize. And then as they continue to build up, then I work with them to scale up into that sector. When I have those commercial clients, I deal with a lot of small businesses and helping them find leases. So I do a lot of heavy online marketing. I remember, because I know a lot of small businesses, they always get overlooked because they're like, I'm not a large business, I'm starting out. But a lot of those smaller businesses who I work with, they are turned into multi-million-dollar businesses. So they've always referred me clients because you're like, you took the time to find me the space that I needed to make sure all my documents in order, because a lot of people don't know what documentation we would need for a lease. They just think, okay, I saw this first as security. They didn't know it's lease documentations. They're looking at your financials. They're looking at all of these different things. Some are pulling your personal credit. So I usually try to help them stack everything together to be presentable, to say, okay, then you are a qualified tenant. And once they get in there, they're so happy and they're excited because they're like, I've seen my dream come true, because they probably went through several different realtors. Like, oh, you just want a small space, but yet I take the time with them. And now those clients who I've got getting their first space, they're not either purchasing commercial real estate or they upsize to a larger unit. So I really try to, truly try to, see who I don't look at as first time home buyers, who is my first time commercial businesses. And we have to be able to stick with that. And then you just have to give them the guidance. So I don't call myself as a broker. I call myself an advisor to them. And I tell them, like, if I'm not a specialist or something, this is my toolkit. These are the people I can send you to, I can refer you to, and these are the people who I will bring you in order for you to understand.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Putting people's needs, anything else in their best interest. Denise, you had something to add?
I'm glad you said that, Tamika, because as the broker of Keys to Legacy Realty, that's the same thing that we do. We're like a concierge service. I have clients who call me for things that are not related to real estate, but you are the go-to source. And they also come to you for advice. What do you think of this before I make a move? What do you think of this before I make an investment? We're not just working by ourselves, but we have other professionals that are very knowledgeable in different areas that we can be the resource and the solution for their issues that they have. And it doesn't matter if an investor is investing $50,000 or $5 million or $50 million, you still get the same level of premium services. And that's
from the both of you, of course.
Yes. My acronym of Robin Bird Realty actually means passion, renewal, and strength. So I definitely am passionate about the real estate market and passionate about my clients. I put my clients first and foremost. I don't look at a person who comes in as a transaction. Most of us are just transaction oriented, and that's it. A lot of times my clients are sending me gifts. I get invited to so many Christmas parties, Thanksgivings, lunches, and everything throughout the year. And they're just like that, just pick up the phone and say, I'm the advisor that's picking up the phone and say, hey, how you doing? And they're like, I'm not calling you for business. I'm just calling to see how you're doing. Are you okay? Do you need anything? I randomly send my clients gift cards. I know what type of coffee they like. I know what type of breakfast they like. So they're like, wow. You really do care about me as a client. It doesn't matter. I'm like Denise, it doesn't matter if you're investing $5,000, even if you don't have any money, I will put you on the track to get to it, to order to invest or up to hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's how we have to really put people first.
All right. Let's move on to more interesting questions that we have. So real estate market, as you all know, can be volatile, especially here in South Florida. how have you both adapted to the market shifts, and what trends do you see emerging in 2024 and onward? And I'm going to pass this to Tamika first.
Okay, so I have several different listings right now with an investor client of mine who's also a friend.
Sure.
And we had I call it, we got to sit down, we got to have a talk. I can let you know exactly why these properties haven't been moved the first time and let you see what the market is really realistically looking like. And, you know, once you present those realistic numbers to what your clients are, you know, if they're selling too high, too low, or just right at the point, you have to have that very open conversation. So we repackaged everything, relisted it. Now the phone is ringing. He said, "Oh my God." I said, because the market will talk to you. The market will tell you if it's overpriced, it's over this, whatever, whatever. So what I'm seeing right now in the different markets, a lot of the niche neighborhoods, especially in the multifamily sector, are going to continue to grow.
Okay.
There's so many different projects that are coming on the market, but I think we also, with the Live Local app, we're going to see a lot more because we have a need for workforce housing. So I think a lot of that is going to continue to keep on going. We have several developments. We have a lot of different public-private partnerships that are going on. And the city of Opelika, city of Miami, city of Miramar, even up in the city of Fort Lauderdale. So I'm starting to notice a lot of that. I'm starting to notice a lot of the office, the C&D classes are going to have to be repurposed into housing. I'm going to see a lot of that as well. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of the live, work, and play. We're going to see a lot of the mixed use developments going on. South Florida is just continuing to grow. I think that we're going to see a slowdown in the condo market because we're going to have a bit of a problem in the condo sector due to the fact that we have so many different older buildings that may not pass the certification. So those buildings are going to have to be bought out for development. So now we're on a seesaw with that because we had this whole thing with the insurance. We understood what happens 3 or 4 years ago in Bay Harbor Island. So we don't want another disaster like that to happen again. But at the same time, we are doing a massive redevelopment. I'm seeing neighborhoods like Alapata, Liberty City, and Sistrum, East Fort Lauderdale, Wilton Manors. Those areas are really, really growing. I think those areas are really great areas to invest in. I tell my clients, I like to look at the market as a whole. Then I like to niche it down to different neighborhoods because I always look at the neighborhoods, what's the closest to the railways and the highways, and how quick will it be for you to get downtown? Because that's how your tenant is going to look at it. They're going to look at if they're renting, they have kids, they're going to look at the schools in the area. Then they're going to say, how far away is the highway? If I'm taking now the Bright Line, which is becoming more and more popular, how far away is it to the Bright Line train station? And then if I work downtown, how far away is downtown Miami or Fort Lauderdale? So it's a lot of different factors that play into that when you're doing multifamily development.
Denise, what have you seen in terms of market shifts, and what's your thought on the trends emerging in 2024 and beyond?
I see where in our market, especially in my special niche, I'm seeing a lot of the sellers are holding back. They're not sell anymore. That is because of the interest rate. And when they sell, sometimes they are not aware of the capital gains. They are not aware of greed, for want of a better word. So they're holding back and they're not selling. So I have to be educating them not only as a seller, the reason why they need to sell, or they have to look from the angle of a buyer. And most times too, the trend is that I'm seeing a lot of the sellers are still thinking in the past. They're still thinking that, okay, I can get X amount of dollars for my property, and people are going to be lining up around the block. So I have to take them out of the mindset of a seller and put them in the mindset of a buyer. Okay, you're selling this property for $1 million, but when you look at the debt to income ratio on this property, for example, your mortgage is $3,000, but with the high interest rate, when a buyer comes in to purchase, that debt to service rate is going to be much higher. So the numbers are not making sense. I have to be a numbers person with them and let them understand that it is the market that speaks, not you. And so I find too that a lot of the sellers are very emotional about their property. They have invested so much money, but they don't understand the return on investment. So that is where I'm seeing that. I think the trend is going to move towards probably a 1031 exchange more.
Good. Yes.
To be key card or a key card that can be used in this. So moving from one transaction to the next and deferring the taxes and moving to a bigger property. And if you want to make sure that you're actually increasing your portfolio.
As you know, I'm a wealth advisor that specializes in tax mitigation strategies for
Yes.
real estate and business owners. There's more than just 1031 exchange. I'm actually next week presenting at the Florida Institute of Certified Public Accountants at their South Florida accounting about tax mitigation strategies. I'll be doing that to several hundred CPAs. Anyhow, this
Awesome.
is not about me. It's about you guys.
Awesome.
Tamika, as the
Yes.
founder of Robin Bird Realty, which I believe you had named this after your mother, you being a leader in the various real estate boards, how do you balance running your business with your leadership roles?
How do I balance
and family and your family also?
I get a huge desk calendar and I
Okay.
write everything out of what's coming up of what I need to do.
Mhm.
I always tell people, if you need me for something, let me know. And they're like, yes,
Yes.
because you have to have balance. I even schedule days off. When people are like, well, that's my day off. I'm not doing anything on that day. You have to have balance. So I do live by a calendar. I put things in my phone. I put them on my computer, but my desk calendar, when I wake up every morning, I come to my living room and my office and I can see, okay, this is what I have to do today. And that's it. So I tell people all the time, I don't do last minute. My best friends know, please call and ask her if she has anything on her calendar and see if I can fit it in. My nephews, they had a huge game last night. My sister called me 3 weeks ago and sent me a calendar invite to the game. She said, put this on your calendar. So everyone knows, because they're like, everyone knows you have back-to-back trips, you have this, and you still have to run a business. So I do
Sure.
have that time where I run a business. How I do my showings, certain hours. If I hire a showing agent, when it's family time, the phone is off. I don't answer the phone. You have to have that balance, because if you don't, you will be driving yourself crazy, even with the different boards. I've asked every board member, please give me your dates that you're not available. So these are the dates that we could be able to do events. I tell people, I think it's quality over quantity. We don't need to have 30 events every single day, because I will tell them up front, I will not make it.
So
it's balance.
your MO is live by the calendar.
Yes, live by the calendar.
Entries. Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Denise, tell us where you are now and what firm you have established.
Okay, so I am the broker owner for Legacy Realty. It's a commercial real estate company. We specialize in both commercial and residential real estate, South Florida.
Okay, fantastic. So being that you are the commercial governor, how has that shaped your own firm?
Okay, so being a small boutique firm, Legacy Legacy, and being a governor, it opens your eyes to a lot of things, not just being a commercial practitioner, but now you get to understand the policies. You understand the policies that are related to real estate and how you can be impactful. A lot of times as agent, we assume that being a real estate agent is just opening a door. Being a real estate agent is just about showing, but we don't realize that being a real estate agent or a broker, it's an essential service as well. Because I remember when we had COVID, we were actually lobbied for to become a part of essential services. Once I became a governor, it allows me to see things not from just a macro perspective, but from a micro perspective, the whole things from legislation, from policies, among other things, and to see how we are making a difference inside of South Florida and in the United States in general.
Fantastic. So what so far I have captured is that both of you have strong focus on helping clients real estate, building wealth through real estate investments.
Yes.
What are the key factors you emphasize when advising clients on wealth building through the real estate? Let's go with you first, Denise.
Okay, some of the key factors that I have my clients look at is to have knowledge. The more educated you are, the better you're able to make a decision. I may know what is needed in the industry for you to make that decision, but ultimately you have to make that decision. And I empower my buyers or the clients, the residents, among other things, to make that decision through education. That's the first thing. The second thing that I also do as well is not just only education, but make sure that they have the right resources necessary. When you're buying a piece of commercial property, you're not just looking at the numbers, but you want to work with other professionals such as your CPA, your tax preparer, in order to make the decision. And also, you also want to factor in things like, what is your exit strategy? This is not just a trend or a fad. Everyone wants to go and open an assisted living facility because there is money in there. But why are you doing this? And if this doesn't work out for you, what is your exit strategy? So those are some of the things that I actually have with the clients that I'm working with for them to make the best decision. Everything is about education. If you don't have the knowledge, then you will live in regret. So education.
Education. Tamika, how about you? What are the key factors that you emphasize when advising clients on wealth building through real estate?
Well, you just hit the word advising. I advise them on, and I'm a big educator as well. So I let them know what is the short-term goals and what is the long-term goals, and let's make a plan. Is this the right fit for you with this multifamily? Do you have the right resources in place for us? Property management? Do you have your CPA? Do you have your real estate attorney? Do you have an appraiser? I ask them all these different questions. Then I ask them about your financials. Are you financial? Can you really take this on or whatever? So you have to really look at, and I will also make sure if it's a multifamily, is it cash flowing properly? And if it's not cash flowing property, what is the steps that we need to make sure it's cash flow, it's going to cash flow properly? Is this the right property for you, or even to be able to obtain? So you really have to be able to be a true advisor, not just be a transaction broker and just say, all right, I'm just making a sale and keep it moving. Because some people, even in the commercial industry, want you to hold their hand. Listen, I'm that person. I'm advising you and I'm here for you.
Sure.
You really do have to just, it's so many different keys, but I always say educate them, advise. You are really their true advisor, making sure they're making the best financial decision. You want to make sure that they're purchasing something, especially in the multifamily sector. Is this going to be a long-term investment, or do you even see yourself pass this down? Are you starting to continue to build generational wealth for your family with this multifamily?
Sure.
So that
Absolutely.
is some of the things I actually look at, because some people, they just buy because okay, they say on social media, I go buy this. Okay, but let's make sure we have everything in order. Cross our T's and dot our I's and make sure we have everything in order so you continue to keep on building this way. Is this the right sector that you even want to invest in? Because I have some people that, they invested in multifamily and I say, I don't like this sector. I don't want to deal with tenants. All right, I don't want to deal with the property management. Now we got this problem that you want to get rid of. So what are we doing? So yeah, I think one of the key things is be a true advisor.
And
okay.
What Tamika says, I strongly believe that when you educate the clients, right?
Yeah.
They make the decision. In most instances, when things doesn't go the way it should, most time it doesn't come back on the advisors because they said they were aware of it. And our job, for me personally, and at Keystone Legacy Realty, what we do, we treat all of these investments as if we were investing for our own self. So because we know we have the vested interest, we want to make sure that they're making the right decision. And in doing so, it's just about educating and giving them the resource necessary to make the right decision. I've had clients that are working with assisted living facility. They were not my original clients. They started out in the business, and the number one complaint they have was that I didn't know. I went into this, my friend was doing it and I wanted to do it. Now I'm trying it. I made a bad sale. I made a bad this. That's because they were not given the conglomerate of all the information to put the pieces together properly. But now that then they have a solid foundation. And like Tamika as well, with myself, when I have new clients coming in, we have the reputation. We have other persons that they can call to see what we have done. Okay, we have our Rolodex and say, okay, you're doing an assisted living facility. Let me introduce you to 2 or 3 people who have done this before and how they are successful or not, so you can make the decision for yourself.
Fantastic. So what it sounds like is, for the both of you, the emphasis and the core is education, educating your clients and making sure that they understand the value, not only for what you both can provide to your clients, but of course, let them understand what they're looking for and helping them set goals and objectives.
Yes.
Tamika, you have not only a licensed real estate instructor and founded a real estate school. What is the absolute core understanding that they should take away when you are educating them on real estate? What is the most important thing that you want them to take away?
That real estate is actually, it's a lot of work. People think, you're just there to say, okay, I look good. Social media has really fooled a lot of people that real estate is easy. And I'm
Okay.
like, it takes a lot of training. It takes time. This isn't something I always hear people say now, oh, you can scale up really quick. I'm like, no, you can't scale up really quick.
Mhm.
I think the best lessons I've ever learned is when the real estate market gets rough, because
Yes.
they really pull something out of you. And I think that it really drives you and everything. So I always tell people, I do a lot of classes for brokerages and everything. I tell them, I say, it's hard, but it's also very rewarding as well.
Mhm.
It's very
Sure.
rewarding. I'm like, but you have to really give 100% to it. This business is not a business where you say, especially if you want to be a practitioner in this business, say, okay, I'm gonna give 100% on Monday, then I'm going to do it on Tuesday. Maybe I give 30% on Wednesday, 40%, I got to go. No, you can't do it. You cannot do
100%,
it.
110% every day.
Every single day. So, I'm like the education, I say, but I think that the real life scenarios is the true education. I'm just giving you the fundamentals. And I also explain a lot of the scenarios that I go through. And they're like, wait a minute, really what? I'm like, yeah. I've had some of the craziest deals that have taken place, and I've closed them, but at the same time, I always tell people, I'm like, listen, I can educate you as much as I can, but you still really truly have to put the work in. So I just tell them, put the work in.
Okay.
I'm giving you applied knowledge.
Denise, what is the core piece when you're educating your clients, and what the most important takeaway it is?
Okay, so the core piece when I'm educating my client, they have to be knowledgeable, one, and they have to be consistent. They have to be
Absolutely.
what they're doing. And they can't be somebody that makes one decision today and then change tomorrow. You have exactly what you want and make that decision. And also some decision that you're going to make, you can take forever to make it. Because if you're buying an assisted living facility and you're going to take, even when you're given the information, you're going to take 3-4 weeks, you're going to miss that opportunity.
Sure.
Decision and be consistent with what you're doing.
Fantastic. Denise, so you've been recognized as a top performing agent year after year. What practices or habits do you believe has contributed most to your consistent success in such a very competitive real estate market, especially here in South Florida?
So that's an excellent question for me. The practice that I have to be very diligent.
Okay.
I have the motto that I have is diligent with persistent will result in excellent results. So I'm very diligent in what I do, very intentional with what I do. Being a real estate agent means that I'm forever a student. I'm going to university for a PhD in education, quote unquote.
Awesome.
We're always learning, not real school for PhD, but because you're a student, you're always going to be a practitioner, but you're always going to be a student because things are always changing. How we do real estate 3, 4, 5 years ago is not the same way we're going to do it today. And it may not be the same way we're going to do it next year. So you have to be on the pulse and always learning and be consistent and be diligent in order to become a top producer.
Fantastic. Tamika.
Yes.
So you're the president-elect of the Miami Association of Realtors for Commercial Board for 2024 through 2025.
Now I'm becoming the president in 2025.
Oh, okay. So let's start that again. So Tamika,
yes,
you are the president-elect of the Miami Association of Realtors Commercial Board for 2024.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. You also, from what I understand, is the first African-American woman in over 100 years to serve as the president.
Yes.
How did you get there?
How did I get there? So this goes back to me getting my master's degree in real
Okay.
estate at FIU. So I finished that in 2015. So when I finished that program, it opened up my eyes way more now to commercial real estate. So what I started doing is Miami Commercial, what we have commercial marketplace, a monthly commercial marketplace. So I would go there every month to network and learn who the commercial agents were, and just to see what was going on, get the feel of the pulse of the ecosystem here in South Florida market. Fast forward to 2019, the chief of commercial at the time, I was toying on whether or not I should actually apply for the board because I heard something about a board, a commercial board. And they said, yeah, he said, yeah, go ahead and apply. Yeah, I think you're qualified. I'm like, well, I don't have as many sales at the time as the other commercial brokers do. They're like, just go ahead and apply. So I applied, and then I was the first person of color, a male or female, ever on the Miami Commercial Board. And I've just been working my way up for the last 5 years, up to the president-elect. So I'll be the 2025 incoming president for the Miami Commercial Board. Our board is the biggest, our whole entire board is the largest local state association board in the country, and our commercial board itself is the third largest in the country. So it's truly an honor. It's less than 2% of African Americans that actually practice commercial real estate full time.
Yes.
So it's truly an honor. Our board is very diverse. Now we bringing in other people of color, of other nationalities, because we want to get sure. I wanted to ensure there are more people of to make our boards more diverse. I wanted to make sure that every nationality was represented on our different boards and everything, especially our commercial board, because commercial is very hard to get into.
Absolutely.
I call it a unspoken but spoken fraternity. It's really, really hard to get into. And once you break into that system and break into when you're doing the bigger deals and everything, it's a whole new world. So I'm just truly honored and humbled about what's coming out for me in 2025.
I think we call it sorority now.
Yes, yes.
Fraternity and sorority.
Yes.
Sorority. All right, let's talk about a little bit on this side of the topic. So both of you are of African Americans. How do you both handle the challenges that comes with being a woman of color in leadership roles, especially in this very competitive real estate industry? And what advice do you have for others looking for opportunities and break barriers in their respective fields? Denise?
Okay, thank you for that question. As a woman of color entering into this area, especially we don't see a lot of females in this area. I think that if you have the potential, go for it. The second thing that I would say as well is that if you know exactly what you want to do, find a mentor. Tamika saw something in me that I probably didn't see in myself. And she said, I should join the board. And I said, really? And I went ahead and did it. So I would say to you, find a mentor, because you can't take the road by yourself. The mentor has already gone there, done it, done everything, made the mistake so that you don't have to make the mistake. And the second thing I would say is that if somebody else has done it, you can do it also. You have the ability to do it.
Absolutely. Confidence. Absolutely.
Yes.
Tamika, how about you?
I'm a big person. You just said the word confidence. I confidently step in rooms. I mean, anyone that looks like me, but I confidently step in that room. I work that room. I network in that room, because if you all can do it, I can do it as well. And I can bring others along who could do it just as well alongside with me. So that is one thing. You have to have confidence in this industry. I always tell people you can be confident, but you don't have to be cocky about it. I also do embrace mentorship. I've had several women over the years that have mentored me from grad school and also on the commercial board as well, and throughout the association. I tell people just to continue to get educated. I tell people to, look up different events, what's going on outside the board. There's so many different associations that have all types of events and organizations and stuff. So go to those events, put your best foot forward, go out there and meet people. I say that's the only way you're going to break down those barriers. Yeah, you may listen, I've went through the whole thing of the stares, the looks, and how did you get here? And I'm like, I was made to be here, and I'm going to continue networking, and you have to continue working through those doors. There are so many different organizations that supports women, because not only we have a double standard, we are women and also women of color. You also have the CCIM. CCIM also has another a fellow female president for the Miami chapter coming up, who's a colleague and a friend of
Great.
mine as well. So it's really great to also just to partner up with one another and just really be supportive of one another.
Fantastic. Let's talk about community. What role does community involvement play in your careers for each of you, and how do you give back to the communities that you serve? And I guess, why is that important to you? Let's start with Tamika.
I do a lot of feeding the homeless.
Awesome.
Around the holiday time, and even randomly, even if when I've closed a big deal or something, I've gotten a group of friends of mine together, say, all right, then we got to go feed the homeless. You have to give back. This industry, there's no ceiling up to what you can make, but at the same time, you have to be humble enough and be able to give back and be thankful what you were received and everything. So I do a lot of the feeding of the homeless, put on different events, networking events, free networking events, so people come out and meet other practitioners that may have been scared. They're like, I couldn't afford to go. Don't worry about it. I got a free event. Come on. You come in, network, and learn who is who or whatever. I like to also give back to students as well. So usually I get invited to a lot of elementary schools. So I always had a little goodie bags, go talk to the young ladies and everything. So I do a lot of that, but a lot of things I do is really a big thing to me is feeding the homeless. So that's
fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Denise, how about you?
Okay, for me, one of the pillar of Keys to Legacy is built on service and donation and giving back. Okay, that is four pillars. And so with that said, we have already established a scholarship known as Keys to Legacy Global Scholarship, where we're giving back to single family homes, mothers who have children who are not able to afford it. One of the first scholarship that we gave back was actually to a FAU student who is going to college and not able to afford that. So we give back in that capacity in terms of education. Again, as you can see, education is the cornerstone for one of our mantra here. And then the second do is like every Saturday we give to the homeless through a program known as Dare to Care. It is located in Broward County. You would be alarmed to see that in a first world country like this, that there are so many people that are still living below the poverty line and having starvation. There are children who are going to school without food. And so the lines are long. We feed over 500 families every Saturday morning. They line up before 6 a.m. to get actual food to feed their families. So we do that to give back. And as well as for the community in terms of our real estate practitioners, I am available to give knowledge because there's so much business opportunities for all of us in the dynamic and diverse South Florida market to educate every other individual. So feeding the homeless and paying attention to education through the scholarship programs that we have established at Keys to Legacy is how we give back to the community.
So finally, looking ahead, what's next for the both of you? Are there any upcoming projects or goals that you're excited to share with our audience today? Let's go with Tamika.
So, of course, becoming the Miami Association First Black Woman of Miami Commercial Board, that's exciting for me. And also, I'm a member also of the Black Professionals Network. So we just started the Commercial Real Estate Council on the side of Black Professionals Network, which is called the Black Real Estate Investment Council. So it's several different developers who are actually developing here in South Florida and also in Central Florida. Another broker, a friend of mine who owns several chain commercial brokerages and a lender. We are getting together with different developers to help people locate different projects to invest in and reinvest into our communities and also doing development projects. So I'm excited to get that off and running as well into 2025.
Fantastic. Thank you. And how about you, Denise? Upcoming projects, goals that you're excited to share with our audience here today?
Excited to be the 2026 president for the Miami Commercial Board. So
congratulations.
Over to 2025 working under the tutelage of Tamika as the president for the commercial board. In addition to that, the upcoming future goal is that affordable housing is something that is a big issue in South Florida. And so I'm looking forward to developing affordable housing, especially in Central Florida. We know that in Florida in general, there's no land available. And so we're looking forward to do that. We already purchased some lands to do that. So I can't wait for that project to take off so that we can get the keys to other individuals who need that to build a legacy.
Awesome. I want to thank the both of you for joining us today on this insightful episode of the Jet Setting Wealth Advisory Podcast. A very special thank you for both you, Tamika, and you, Denise, for sharing your invaluable expertise in real estate and wealth building. Please check out their resources. And Tamika, I'm going to ask you to provide your website.
My website is www.robinbirdrealty.com, ROBIN realty.com.
And Denise, how about you?
My website is keys to legacy, KEYS to legacy, realty.com.
Fantastic. I'm David Yu, airline pilot, founder, and wealth advisor of DTY Wealth Planning Solutions. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with anyone looking to sharpen their financial strategies. Until next time, stay focused on your goals and continue building your wealth with purpose. See you on our next podcast. Goodbye.
Thank you for flying with us on today's episode of Jet Setting Wealth Advisory. If you enjoyed your journey through the fiscal skies with David T. Yu, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and keep your financial knowledge soaring. For more insights and personalized advice, visit us at www.dtywealthplanningsolutions.com and connect with David directly